No, you're good. You can start pulling it up.
Okay. I forgot you
I have
cut
to get
some
situated,
of this
yeah.
out.
I also have to pull up my stuff, so we're good. Oh, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The fact that we only have 2 mics is a problem.
Yeah.
We'll have to get another one because we'll be like, Dad, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Hola.
Hello.
Hello. It's Reddit time today.
Yes.
It is Reddit time, and I'm excited. So Kara and I picked out stories today relating to the person sitting next in the middle of us. Can I say your name? Okay. This is my father. This is her brother. Her father. This is Kevin, and he was a police officer for
How many years?
yeah, like
12 years.
12.
That's a lot.
Okay, that's a lot. Too much for me. I can't be a police officer. But anyway, all these okay, I have to find mine. Oh, I found them. All of these Reddit stories are related to somehow related to police officers, I guess you could say.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Kara has like funny, like serious ones. I have Am I the Asshole ones. Or no, I have more serious ones, I think. She has more like funny oh shit moments.
And a serious one.
Yeah.
Ish, yeah.
So I'm excited. This is gonna be.
I think I have 2 funny ones. Yeah, 2 funny ones and like an oh shit moment.
Okay.
And so whatever one should we start off with first? The funny?
Let's start lighthearted.
Okay, so
But yeah,
let me do the funny one.
let's get into it.
So this is from someone on Reddit. Former police officer, might be current, it was 10 years ago, so maybe former. Says, got a call that there was a man tied up, face down, in a front yard. When I got there, this guy wasn't moving and was face down with his arms and legs pulled tightly to his body. I didn't see any rope or anything, but the dude was blindfolded. I spoke to him and he sat right up with a bunch of grass in his mouth. Dude was not happy to see the police and made some comments about how I was oppressing him and he wasn't hurting anyone, yada yada. I asked him what he was doing. He stated that he was eating grass and meditating. This man self identified as a ninja of the earth and was attempting to draw out the earth ninjas with his vibrations. He was on his mother's property, so I told him to continue, but to do it somewhere less visible so as not to cause any alarms. I saw the dude like 4 more times over the next week. He was always alone, so I guess the other Earth ninjas weren't responding well to his calls. Tough luck, though.
Have you come across any Earth ninjas?
What? That I have not come across.
An Earth ninja.
You do tend to come upon some strange calls, though.
What's like one that you can share? If you can remember,
If you
like
feel comfortable enough.
If you remember a strange, kind of just funny, weird call you got or
You don't have to
responded
name names or anything.
Yeah.
I can't pick out a specific one, but there's been several times where it's been someone naked running down the street or trying to fight with us. Someone on drugs just babbling about aliens. I've had that quite often.
Too much.
Those, yeah. I feel like I would be like so unprofessional though, and I would just start laughing.
Yeah,
I don't know if I could just like
if someone
not.
said they were trying to feel the vibrations in a ninja.
At times it's hard not to, but as an officer, you do your best to keep a straight face.
And then you laugh about it later?
Deal with it. And then, yes, there may be times where you end up laughing about those calls.
All right. I got one more funny one before we get to
some serious ones. Or should you save the funny one for
it's up
the
to you.
last? We should end on a good note.
Okay, so let me do the crap moment. So this one looks like she's reporting from what her dad told her because her dad was a highway patrol. So it says he was dispatched to a single car accident on a very rural highway in a remote area. Found two women in a car, one about 60, the other late 20s. Turns out they were mother and daughter. Both were unconscious and had to be transported to the hospital. Dad took photos, made some diagrams, whatever they did back then, mid 1970s. So this is when it was all taking place. Went to the hospital to see if he could get a witness statement from either woman. Mom was dead, unfortunately. The daughter's in a coma, but there was a relative there at the hospital, so the dad went to talk to her. First words out of her mouth were, "But where's the baby?" Turns out the daughter was also a mother, and nobody knew where the baby went. This was before a time where car seats were common, so there was a real possibility that the child could have been ejected from the car. So dad and a couple of local cops and a couple firefighters went back to the scene at 2 in the morning to beat through the trees and wheat fields in search of a probably unfortunately dead infant, and wondering what would be worse, to find it or not. Later found out that the baby was with a babysitter, but dad had nightmares about this for years. Her dad, the police officer, had nightmares for this. So there was no baby in the car. It was
Well,
literally at the
I mean,
babysitter. So happy note, but
yeah, that's
yeah.
good, I guess.
So a family member thought there was a baby in the
Yeah,
car?
because the daughter had a child. But and so it freaked all the cops out, like, oh my god, because
Yeah,
there's
that would
1970s, you know.
definitely put officers in a panic,
Yeah,
not being able to find someone that they said was in a car.
yeah. And the
'Cause-
1970s, you know, there's no car seats really back
'cause I've
then.
been to those accidents where there are ejections and stuff, and
Mm-hmm. Which is really, really
especially
sad.
when it's dark out, it makes it that much harder.
Especially trying to find it through bushes and trees and.
Yeah.
But good relief though that there was no baby. They were
Yeah.
the babysitters. So I chalk it
I
up to the
imagine,
daughter having maybe, or the
Did the okay,
not
wait,
the daughter say it, but it was the relative who said it.
was the daughter unconscious? Is
I
that
think
why?
so.
Okay.
Yeah, because
'Cause I was like,
the
how would
mother
she
was
not say anything?
her mother, the daughter's mother was
Wasn't-
deceased.
Yes.
So the other one was in a coma.
Oh,
In a
oh
coma.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, so pretty bad accident.
Yeah, and I imagine when the officers found out the child wasn't in the car, it brought a huge relief.
Oh yeah. I would, yeah, my heart would just drop
Yeah.
at the instance of where's the baby, and then be like, okay.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, we got these people safe to a hospital. Like, they're gonna get care, hopefully. Unfortunately, when past, you already have all that stress on you. And then you hear someone go, wait, where's the baby? You're like, oh no, like, this is
Yep.
not good. So,
Yep.
yeah. That's crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
It is.
Is that the
And-
one?
That was the oh shit moment one, yeah.
And back in the 1970s, they didn't have technology like we do now. So definitely
No.
would have been scarier. And like nowadays, we have things like drones and stuff like
Like
that.
night
A lot
vision
more
and all that,
and a lot
right?
more resources.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah, I can imagine tracking down an
1970
infant
cops, yeah, like
would have
not.
not been easy back then.
No.
I mean, you didn't work back then, but just imagining.
I wasn't even born.
You weren't
then.
even thought of yet. Let's be real.
So, yeah.
Neither one of us were.
Or those
I would
ones.
say something funny, but
Go ahead. Go ahead.
we
Go
were
ahead.
still in dad at that point.
Oh, wow.
Just saying. Hey, it's an open door in here, okay?
Okay, folks. Okay, were those ones that you had?
I have
Do you have
one
any
more
more?
funny, but if you want to do
I'll
yours.
do. I have a really serious one that's kind of hard to read, so I'm just gonna do the "Am I the asshole" one right now.
Okay.
So, for reference, "Am I the asshole?" You decide whether the original writer is an asshole or not, or if there's somebody else in the story that is an asshole. Just make sure, yeah. Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law I will call the cops for child abandonment the moment she steps out of my house? Just from that title. What do we think?
Am I the asshole?
Yes, is this writer an asshole for telling her sister-in-law she will call the cops for child abandonment the moment she steps out of the house?
I think it depends on what the rest of the story
Yeah,
has.
I would need some more details.
Okay, we're
on
gonna get
that.
into the details. Okay. So, me, 25 male, my brother Jack, 25 male, and his wife, Jill, 25 female. It all started when Jack and Jill got pregnant. Sorry, Jack and Jill went up. Anyway.
Bring it back to the childhood rhymes there.
Oh no.
Jack and Jill went
I
up.
really hope those aren't their real names. That would be so sorry.
Jack and Jill went up.
We have a cousin Joe. We can't make fun of the names.
I know, but just it's ironic that they're named Jack and Jill.
And they're married.
And they're pregnant.
Yep.
Anyway, their lease ended and my parents invited them to stay at our house. The day that they came, Jack asked me why I haven't moved out of my room yet. I was confused, like, what the fuck? He told me that he and Jill will be at my room and I go to the guest room. I refused, but my parents got mad, we got in a fight, I lost, and ended up moving to the smaller guest room. Then Jill had problems with my cooking. I eat scrambled eggs with mozzarella and avocado every day for breakfast, and she couldn't stand the smell. She asked me to stop. I refused. Parents got involved. I had to stop. There were problems with other food too, and I had to stop cooking them. I was told that I must be accommodating because she's pregnant. Like, that is my problem. I love this guy. And Jill started to boss me around when we were alone for 8 hours while my parents and Jack worked. She obviously thought I would be her personal maid. I refused. She would throw a temper tantrum. Like always, I again had a big fight with Jack and my parents. I was told that she was at high risk pregnancy and was on bed rest, and I'm an asshole for not helping her. I told Jack that he knocked her up and it's his responsibility. I stood my ground, and in the end, Jill's cousin came to help her sometimes. Then Jill gave birth to my nephew. I congratulated them when they came home, and that's it. I don't like babies, so I mostly kept to myself. But that didn't stop Jill from asking for favors. Please watch the baby while I take a quick shower. Please watch it while I make myself food, etc. I always refused, and we had new fights over and over and over again. It all came to head last Friday when she asked me to watch my nephew while she goes to the pharmacy for baby formula. I refused. She got mad and we got in a fight. She grabbed her purse and to go away, and I told her the moment she steps out of the door, I will call the police for child abandonment. I was serious and she knew it. She broke down and screamed what a horrible human being I am and ran to her room. She had a complete mental breakdown. When Jack and my parents came home, we had the biggest fight yet. Jack accused me of hating Jill and hating my nephew upon other things. I told him I refused to bond with them because they were weaponizing him against me. My parents told me enough is enough. They can't believe they raised such a selfish human being, and that I either help or I move out. I'm thinking the second option. Am I the asshole? And then they made an edit. I work from home and pay 50% of the household expenses, including mortgage. Jack and Jill don't contribute for any expenses.
How old is this?
So our writer is 25 male, and then the brother, Jack, is 27, and the wife is 25. So around relatively the same age, 2 years difference between the brothers.
Sounds like from the time they moved in the house, they were just trying to bully him.
Well, yeah, and my thing
That's
is,
what it
like, he
sounds
was
like.
there first.
Yeah.
He was there first,
I
and
mean, they do. How long ago was this written?
this was written a year ago.
Okay. Well, we all know times are tough, so I guess that explains why he could be living with his parents.
But if he pays 50% of the mortgage,
Yeah,
And they don't pay anything.
but he pays half. He should have rights to the room. Like,
more say.
I mean, I get it. They want the bigger room
For their
'cause
baby, yeah.
their baby. There's 3 of them. So you are kind of asshole for not realizing that, but at the same time, when you get bullied constantly from these,
Well, my thing is, like, I understand, like, obviously, I've never been pregnant, but she has, and it's, I assume it's very, very hard.
It is. Your body goes
And-
through changes. You're emotional. You're not controlled.
However, though, it is your responsibility to stay sane and to, if she was on bed rest, which is really, really unfortunate for her pregnancy, but it sounds like the baby came out healthy and was okay.
Well, and to get back, like just because I didn't like the smell of something or eat it, I didn't ask other people to stop
making the food.
I mean, would I gross TMI, but vomit? Yeah, because of the smell or that. Like I couldn't eat eggs, but my dad cooks breakfast every Sunday and eat eggs, but I didn't tell him to stop making breakfast. I couldn't handle the smell.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah, because I'm still gonna eat what I want to eat. Like, I'm sorry,
Well, I don't know. I just don't think that.
but
I think the sister-in-law is really, really rude
it doesn't seem like the sister-in-law got along with brother-in-law
to begin with
to
at
begin
all.
with, and so what makes you think that
Moving in together is going to be any better.
he's gonna help you out
Yeah,
when
and
you
I'm
don't get
sorry,
along
like,
with him?
it might just be a me thing, but, like, if I was pregnant and I needed to do something, I wouldn't rely on someone to be there by my side 24/7 because you can't. That's not realistic. Um,
No, because you're still very independent, unless like you're high risk from the get go and need on bed rest. Then I understand that, but you shouldn't really be only getting up to go pee, shower,
mhm,
that kind of stuff. If you have a 2-story, have somebody else help you with that. But if you're not on bed rest from the beginning, you're very capable. Yeah, you're sick. That like every pregnancy is different. So I mean, but you're not handicapped. You know what I
mhm.
mean?
Yeah. So this is one of the top comments that I saw. This sounds like a super shitty situation in general. Info: why can't Jill take the baby with her on the errands? Why do you still live at home?
Exactly.
And how much rent do you pay? Oh, well, we already got like that portion of how much he paid. So it goes edit. So based on OP's response, original writer, Jill doesn't want to parent her child all day. They pay nothing towards the house and treat OP like shit. In your shoes, OP, I maybe sometimes watch the kids while the parent grabs a shower.
Yeah.
However, I would not be a wow, free in babysitting. Yeah, under any circumstances. Um, unless an emergency happened, they seem to treat you like that, and I can't say I'd blame you if you just refused outright.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's agreeing. The overall vote is not the asshole. However, back to the original question, when she asked, "Can you watch the baby while I run errands?" Is he an asshole for being like, "I'm going to call the cops"? Is that an extent, or I
I
feel like,
don't think he's an asshole. I think he's more trying to make a point.
yeah, I think
Like
it
take
was
your
more.
child with you and run
Yeah.
the errands.
I don't think
Like,
he
and
would have.
kind of like that responder said, you know, yeah, I'll help out here and there, but you two are the ones that decided to have a baby.
Exactly.
It's your responsibility. There's no reason you can't take the baby. I get it. Sometimes you just want to run somewhere real quick and don't want to have to
But
lug the baby around.
yeah,
But guess what? You're a parent.
as a parent, you have
That's
to.
what you
I
do.
That's
remember
part of
like
being a parent.
because you were in the military for a while, and when my mom was home alone, my mom had to stay home with us, of course. She had a toddler and a newborn, and when she wanted to run into QT, guess what? She had to take us both out of the car
Mm-hmm.
seats, like,
Yeah.
and that's what you sign up for as a mom when when your husband is away at work, that is what you have to do.
Well, yeah, and I've been a single mom, what, 5 years now? That's what I did. Took him
Yeah.
everywhere I went. I mean, granted, like Gigi and them would definitely help, like, oh, if I need a quick shower,
Yes, yeah.
stuff like that. But yeah, no, you take him everywhere you go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't think this guy's the asshole. I like him. He's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The way he wrote that story was pretty funny. But yeah, so that's one of mine. If you want to do the next one I have is pretty long.
Okay.
It's really long. I'll try to read
So
it
let's
fast.
see. I could do the funny one, or I could do. There was
Do
another
another
like oh
yeah,
oh
do another
one.
one of those. We'll save the funny one for the ending.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so let me pull it up.
I
Okay,
need my
so this
chicken
one
nuggets.
says, um, from another person, her father was a small town cop in the 1960s. He worked a wreck where the lady was unconscious. He's doing his thing. The ambulance is there loading the lady up on the gurney, and the tow truck is already on site, just starting to winch up her car off the ditch. Suddenly, the lady wakes up and starts shouting, "Where's my baby?" Another baby one. Dad said his blood ran cold. He goes back to the car and looks around and finds the baby in the rear floorboard of the car under some blankets. He gently picks up the baby, expecting it to be deceased. It opens his eyes, looks at him as if to say, like, "Who the heck are you?" kind of thing, and starts crying. He said that he's never been so relieved in all his life. The car was beyond totaled. Mom had significant injuries and car seats weren't even a thing back then, but the baby was sound asleep on the floorboard.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know that's scary, especially in a car wreck, baby. But even for adults, like the more relaxed state you're in, I've seen some crazy wrecks,
Mm-hmm.
like intense wrecks, and people just walking away with maybe some scrapes or bruises.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, and the fact the baby ended up on the floorboard, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if he was strapped in or not.
Well, it's 1960s, so earlier than to the
Yeah,
1970s story. So car seats weren't even really a
yeah.
thing
I
back
can't even
then.
imagine
So I mean,
that.
it probably was a shock that the baby was alive.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, thankfully.
She's
Mhm.
just chilling, sleeping under some blankets, and then he sees this random man. He's like, "Give me back to my mom."
Right.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. So, like, if they didn't have the car seats back then, so did they
Did they
just
just strap
lay,
him in?
yeah, or just lay the babies on the floor? Or, like, how did that work?
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't alive back in the 60s.
Right?
Again, I was.
You don't want to say it, do you?
No.
Still in your
Uh,
father.
I wasn't even a star in his eye yet.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Not for another 20 something years.
Right?
My dad was barely born
He was born
in
in
the 60s.
1962.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad was born in 1962, so this was 1960. So he wasn't even thought of yet.
Yeah.
Because Uncle Jeff, yeah, wasn't even thought of either. Grandma
Um,
was pregnant with Uncle Jeff then.
so usually a mother or another passenger just carried the baby. If there was another passenger, they would just strap him in the back seat or in like a binette or a cradle.
Huh.
And before car seats were got. So literally you would be holding on to the baby, or if you didn't have somebody else in the car with you, it would just be strapped like a
Yeah, so
normal
it'd be
child.
pretty dangerous with wrecks
Yeah.
then.
Can you imagine now if there was no car seats, how that would go? Like with
It would be so bad.
like the babies. I know. So thank you for whoever invented car
Yeah.
seats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Want to do your serious one?
This one's gonna be a bit tough. Trigger warning, suicide. Not it's related, but not too big on it. So I'm also going to convert the times because of course police officers use 2200 hours, and some people might not know that. We do, but do you know military time?
I have to for nursing.
Yeah. Okay, I was just making sure. So this ask Reddit comes from, well, yeah, it comes from Ask Reddit. Cops of Reddit, what is the scariest situation you've been in? So think about one of your scary situations after I read this too,
If you're comfortable enough to share, of
if you
course.
can. Yeah. Okay. So note this person does not work in the United States. This is not from our country. I arrive at work at 6 o'clock in the morning. I finished work at 10 o'clock the previous night and ended up running into an assault on an old man on the way home. My commute was about an hour, so instead of getting home at 11, I got home around 11:45. I had a quick bite with my wife, go to bed around 12:30, and wake up at 4:15. At around 6:15, I'm on station duties when a man runs in and says what he thinks his wife is missing. He's very sketchy on details. I'm having to drag information out of him. Essentially, they had a fight. She stormed out, didn't come home that night. I check on her system and she's a respondent for a couple domestic violence orders. I dig a little deeper and I discover they're actually against her son rather than her husband. I'm very, very tired and a little cranky. I look at the bare information I have sent on the chat home to wait for his wife. So he sent the person home to wait for his wife. I check hospitals, our own system to make sure she hasn't been arrested or in a local fire, and ambulance services. Nothing doing. I circulate her details to all units in the city and record the incident. I have done nothing to cover my to cover my ass. This person's definitely from the UK. Sorry.
You're good.
I have done nothing to cover my ass, and technically, actually there isn't actually anything else for me to do. I go and get a cup of coffee and all I wanted to do was sleep, but something didn't sit right for me. I was suspicious of her husband. He seemed like he was hiding something. I went down to my skipper and asked him if I could go to the house. What's a skipper?
Captain, maybe?
Captain, probably. It's a little hard because
Boss.
yeah,
Just
just
it's what in the UK?
probably in the UK or Europe because he said ours.
Yeah.
So probably his boss or their boss. I went down to my skipper and asked him if I could go to the house and have a look around and maybe we can talk to the husband again. The skipper isn't delighted about it because it means he'll have to cover my desk, but we are because we are short staffed. But he agrees like a trooper, and I off jolly well trot. Sorry, this writing's so crazy.
Definitely you
Yeah.
can.
I arrive at the house and talk to the husband again and ask him if I can have a look around. There might be something that she might have left that sheds some light on where she might have gone. I have a scout. I have a scout around the house and find
So
several.
look around.
Yeah, I will look around the house and find several containers of pills with weird names. I quickly Google later, and I discovered that this woman appears to be on a cocktail of antidepressants, mood stabilizers, and other stuff. Oh, and I find an insulin kit. I ask her husband about these, and he mentions that it's his wife's, so has some emotional problems. That he didn't think it was relevant. I sit him down and put it to him that there's a lot of medication here. Does his wife have more than one insulin kit? He goes pale at that point. She'd left her medication at home.
Ooh.
I ask him where she keeps her purse, and we end up checking her beside locker. Her purse is missing, but I snagged a framed picture for future reference. I have no idea what this woman looked like. And her husband, if I can search, I ask her husband if I can search the room. He's beginning to completely break down at this point and tells me I can do whatever I want, but just yeah, I can do whatever I want, and he just storms out of the living room. Sorry, this is really hard to read.
Well, it's in UK
Yeah.
language.
I'm feeling just distinctly queasy at the moment and say nothing of the banging headache from sleep deprivation. I don't find any specific holes in the wardrobe where she might have taken clothes, any secret stashes, cash, drugs. I don't know what possessed me to do it, but I searched the bed. I turn over his pillow and there's a note under it, and it's a suicide note explaining no certain terms that the MP is intending to end her life and that she can't go on and that she's sorry for being a burden. I ran the station and update them. I then have to walk down to the living room and tell this woman's husband that he has been sleeping on her suicide note overnight and never noticed. This was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done and ever been called upon to about, separate from dealing with dead children. I found her eventually and it took another 8 hours to find her. We pinged her phone to a nearby town that just gave us a general location. I put the town to her husband, but he said that she didn't have any friends or family there. After another 15 minutes, he calls me back and tells me that they spent the weekend there shortly after they got married. I call the hotel they stayed in on that occasion, but have no one by that name. Went down in the person and showed them the picture, and the lady had just told me a guest answering that description had just left to walk on the pier. I went out to the pier and found her, and we had a bit of a chat. Nothing dramatic. She told me that I had looked awful, and I said I was just very tired. I asked her to give life a chance, a few more days, and that her husband loved her and that she wasn't a burden. She agreed, and we brought her back home. A couple days later, she came to my station with a box of chocolates and a card that read, "Thank you for letting me not kill myself." When I realized how close I had been to just letting the matter rest because it had ticked all of the boxes off the list, I went to the toilet in the back of the station and threw up for what felt like an hour. She sends me the same Christmas card every year.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Just how he had that feeling like something's not right, but he was so tired, he was like, whatever, I don't want to do it. And then he did it and she's alive.
Yeah.
That's speechless. I don't know.
Well, good for him.
It's good he followed up on, thinking something was suspicious about it and went and followed
Yeah.
up on it.
Yeah. I think when I originally read this, I was kind of like, well, the husband kind of sucks, but then I was like, at the same time, he probably did see some sort of note Or he
He just
probably
didn't want to
saw
believe it.
signs.
Yeah, and probably
Yeah.
just didn't want to believe his wife was dealing with that.
Yeah. That's hard.
Insane. And good on the cop, because as a cop, you learn to see when things are out of place, or you get those feelings that something's not right and
Yeah.
or out of place. And
All the comments responding
know.
to that story are saying, like, you're a damn fine cop, like, great story, you're amazing, favorite story so far. Like,
yeah,
everyone really applauded him on that. Like, that's
I
amazing.
was able to find her, and
The fact that she sends him a Christmas card every year is so sweet.
yeah,
And it made her really like, I think what is the chilling part though is like, thank God he didn't give up, but also like reassuring her that like your husband does love you. You still have a whole life to live.
yeah.
Like, do not give up.
Suicides are definitely some tough calls to go on.
Yeah.
I've
I'm
dealt
sure.
with quite a few on my own, and I've gone to several that were military vets. Yeah, and good thing about that, because before being a police officer, I served about 9 years in the military total. So going to ones with vets, I'm able to build some rapport and associate more with them, and majority of them have come to a good conclusion.
You build a trust with them basically.
Yeah.
And then but now there's so many good resources though for the vets.
Yeah, they're starting to become a lot more resources for them,
Thank
which
goodness.
is a good thing.
Yeah, because a lot of them, I know, like, PTSD is a really big thing, especially when it comes to, like, military veterans.
Well, yeah, and for the longest time, a lot of vets didn't want to claim to have PTSD because it was like putting a label on yourself, and nobody wanted to have that label.
Well, and, like, especially early, like, mental, like, health awareness wasn't big, and putting, like, that, like, oh, I have PTSD as a man can be degrading.
Well, makes them feel less of a man if you
Yeah,
know.
that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, like less like, I was in the military, I'm strong and this and that, and then get diagnosed with PTSD. It's just like, hard for them.
Yeah, I mean, you can even see it now. Unfortunately, a lot of our homeless is vets. There's a lot of vets that are homeless.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was my really long. I didn't realize exactly when I was reading it that it was from the
No, it
UK.
was good.
So I was
like
kind of stuttering.
what was the one for the
skipper?
The skipper?
I really like that
Can you call your boss skipper and let us know how it goes?
No.
Do you think he'd look at you funny? No comment.
Some of them probably would.
Or have a jolly round, or what did it say? Something.
It said something like, "Oh my god, I had a draw. Oh my god, an off-eye jolly well trot." Like an off-eye jolly well trot.
That's funny.
It was just, yeah.
Please say that to when you're on duty next time, please. I have to go do a jolly round trot.
Boss, I'm going on my daily trot. I'm going out on my little break. Like, that's so funny.
Oh, look at me like I'm crazy.
It'd be worth seeing though.
Well, those were my 2 stories that I had.
All
so
right,
if you wanted to get into your serious, and we'll end on a light note, maybe Dad can share one of his stories.
Let's see. I think that was, I read the 3.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
that was
read
it.
your
Yeah,
one.
I have the funny one.
Okay,
if you want to
cool.
do that, and then we could share some stories if you want to. So, this from Reddit user says, it wasn't me, but I had a family member in the highway patrol. So once again, what's with all these highway patrol people? It says one day
You picked it.
I know, but still, one day he pulled this woman over for speeding. After coming to a stop, he walked up to her window and gave her the classic, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" She quickly responded that she knew that she was speeding, but asked if she gave him an excuse for why she was speeding that he had never heard before. Could he let her off with just a warning? She then said, "If you have heard this excuse, I will gladly sign your speeding ticket." He laughed and said he's been doing highway patrol for so long that he's heard them all, but told her at least go give it a try. At that moment, the woman pulled out a vial of horse semen from in between her breasts and explained how
Whoa.
she was a horse breeder and needed to get the sample to its location for insemination before it went bad. After he finished laughing, he let her off with a warning.
Wait,
That's
wait, 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 wait,
hilarious.
wait, wait. She pulled out a vial between her breasts.
Breasts?
It was in her
Because
bra.
you got to keep it, I think, warm for insemination. So, the best spot is in the pockets of the tatas. And then whipped it out and said, yeah.
That is a good excuse. I've never heard that before.
What's the best excuse you got from somebody trying to get out of a ticket, if you could share? That was funny, or just like, what the heck?
I mean, I haven't had any like crazy out there.
Not
Just-
horse semen ones?
No,
Nothing. They just accept the tickets.
no, none that pop in my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I couldn't imagine.
That's disturbing.
Very disturbing.
Like, I know she's a horse breeder, but like,
Why?
the fact that she knew too, she was like, "You want to know? Like, I bet you I have something that you have never seen before." And he's like, "Bet." Like they were in like this and she was like, "Yeah," and he was,
I think I would be speechless
Thank
and be
you.
like, "Yep, nope, you're
Yeah,
good."
I would probably. You're good. You're good to go.
Peace. Get to where you need to go.
Drive slower.
I mean, she legitimately had a good reason. And it wasn't just like an excuse, like a made up excuse. She really pulled the vial out.
Yeah,
That's insane.
that's crazy. Do you have any last minute stories you'd like to share about being
Any
a
oh
cop?
shit moments or funny or what
Oh.
the heck?
I mean, probably an oh shit moment that always sticks in my head, just because I was a brand new officer on field training. Was the time I was responding to a domestic violence call, and I was taught from the get go those are some of the worst calls to go to. You never know what the situation will be, how it'll turn out, or what's going to happen. And as I get there, we get word that uh, male subjects in the house, and the rest of the family had locked themselves in a bathroom, and male subjects had a gun. And then, as me and another rookie officer were walking up to there's a front door on the front of the house, and then there was a side door like in the patio.
Okay.
So as walking up to the side door, me and the other rookie, our boss, who was on the sidewalk in front of the house, can see through the front windows that he's walking right towards that side door we're approaching. And then as we get up to it, we can see and hear the doorknob being turned.
Oh
And
my
as he opens, he had a gun in his hand, so we had to draw our guns and start giving him commands, at which time he put the gun,
Thankfully, Jesus.
to his head. And
No.
we
Take
were
that back. I thought you meant he was gonna put it down. Oh my god. No. Sorry,
but
sorry.
we were ultimately able to, with more officers and resources on scene, able to get the family out and stuff. So,
Okay, well, at
Yeah.
least that's good.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to say thankfully to this gun.
but
I didn't know that was the
that
next
was
thing you were gonna
probably
say.
my first and biggest
Like, oh shit.
oh shit moment. This is real.
Yeah. I can't imagine. No.
No.
This is why I can't be a cop.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'll stick to nursing.
Yeah.
I just fix them up.
I'll stick to school.
Yeah.
I'll stick to school
Yeah.
for now.
Please
Yeah.
do.
We shall see.
What do you mean we
Just
shall
kidding.
see?
Just kidding.
You got any
I'll finish it at
comments
least.
on that one?
No comment.
And with that,
With that note,
I think that is all that we had for.
that was a pretty good Reddit episode.
We had
Cop edition.
yes, cop edition.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, what did funny story though. Before we end it though, we were going to the party today.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
it's
had,
St. Patrick's Day, by the way.
and I
When
had
we're filming this.
Happy
Letty,
St. Patty's Day.
right?
Happy St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
I had Letty bring me in the car, and I was like, she goes, "Oh look, Mom, a police like Uncle Kevin." I was like, "Yeah, it's the po-po." And she goes, "What's a po-po?" I was like, "Oh, it's what we call the police." She goes, "So I could call Uncle Kevin a po-po?" I was like, "Yeah, go up to him and say, hey, po-po."
Did she say that to you?
Oh my god, no, she didn't.
Not yet.
Oh,
So we'll
I'm gonna
see.
die laughing if she comes home tomorrow and she's like, "Hi, Popo."
She would too.
She would. So that
Yeah,
was my funny moment today. Speaking on the
Yeah.
police. So
we just hung out with family today. Went over and had some food. It was pretty fun. And we
Nice.
just played. We just finished up playing cards, like about an hour ago. He won. Really upset about that. I lost.
He gets mad when he loses, though.
Yeah,
It's a hate-love relationship with the game.
in the middle of the game, he was losing, and he goes, "I hate this game." And then when he won, he goes, "I love this game."
Right. Like always, every time we play.
I was like, "Papa."
Papa's the worst.
Yeah, hate losing.
Alrighty, well, that is a wrap, I think.
Yes.
Are we good?
We are
Yes.
good.
I'm your host, Allie,
I'm your host, Kara.
and
I'm Kevin.
good
Good
night. Oh, my nuggets! I almost dropped my nuggets.